Hello everyone, welcome to this video on scope of variables in Python. In this video, you will learn what is scope of variable, type of variables in Python, and local variable scope versus global variable scope. First of all, let us start with what is scope of a variable. Here is a small program. We have defined a function outer, and we have one variable within the outer function, and again we have defined one more function within this outer function, and hence its name is inner function. And there is one variable x is equal to 30 and 4 printf statements, and we have two variables created outside these functions. So the scope of this variable means a scope of variable is the part of the program where the variable is accessible, means which part of the program this z will be accessible, which part of program this x, y, z and x are accessible within this program, whether it is accessible over here, accessible over here, whether this y is accessible here and here or not. So that is what the meaning of scope of variable. So we will learn scope of variables in detail step by step with suitable examples. So there are four types of scope in Python: local scope, global scope, enclosed scope, built-in scope. So first of all, let us start with local scope. Here, for example, here we have a simple program with one function print underscore variable underscore x, and here we have x is equal to 5 and printing the value of x, and we are adding value 2 to the value of x, that is should become 7, and then again we are printing, and then we are calling the function, and here again we are printing the value of x. And now let us run this program. So here we can see that we are getting value 5 over here, then 2 is added, and hence value is 7. Now let us print the value of x outside this function, because these two print statements are within the function, but this print statement is outside the function. And now let us run it. So here we can see that there is an error message, name error, name x is not defined, because here x is not created outside the function, it is created within the function, and hence this variable is not accessible outside the function. So such variable, the variable which is created within the function, is referred to as a local variable, and such variables have local variable scope. So a variable scope is limited only to the function where it is created, is referred to as a local scope of variable. When we create a variable inside a function, it becomes a local variable. That means local variable value is available within the function only, not outside that function. Now let us look at global scope. So over here we have a small program with a function print variables. A is created outside the function and variable b is created within the function, and here we are printing value of a and b within the function. Then we are calling the function print underscore variable, and then again we are printing the value of a and b outside the function. So now let us run this program, and we can see that value of a and b are printed. Even though variable a is defined or created outside the function, its value is printed within the function, and b is also local variables, is but obviously printed over here, right? Now if this printf statement is outside the print underscore variable function, and let us see what happens. So we are able to print value of x inside as well as outside the function. Now let us uncomment this particular statement, and now again let us run these two statements, and we can see that value of a is printed but value of b is not printed. Name b is not defined because b is not defined outside the function, it is defined created within the function. So b is local variable, a is a global variable because it is accessible outside the function, within the function, and hence a is global variable and it has a global variable scope. So when a variable is declared above and or outside of a function like this, it becomes a global variable, and such variables are having global variable scope, but the variable b has a local scope. Now let us look at local versus global scope of variable. So over here we have again a small program where we have created a variable a and assigned value 4. Within the function we have assigned value 10 to the variable a. Now here this a and this a are different. Now let us run this program and let us see what happens. So here we can see that value 10 is printed. So we have assigned a is equal to 10 and this a, right, and its address is over here. Now say for example if I run this statement, then here we can see that value of a is 4 and address is different. These two addresses is different. Means when we assign a new value to variable which is global variable, a new memory address is assigned to A, and A becomes a local variable over here. But this A which is created outside is a global variable, hence the value printed outside A is 4 and its address is this. So this A and this A both are different, and over here this A is a local A and this is a global A. Now suppose we want that whenever we make change to a global variable within a function should be reflected outside the function. Means here we are modifying the value of A to 10 and we want that this 10 should be reflected outside over here, and here the value printed should be 10, but here it is not possible like this. So to achieve this particular objective, that whatever modification done to a global variable within the function should be reflected outside, then there is a keyword named global. We can use this global keyword within the function like this. Variable which we have created outside should be specified after the global keyword like this with one space. And now let us run this program, and we can see that here before assigning x to 10 the value printed is 4 with this address, but after assigning 10 to variable x the value is 10. And now let us again run this statement. So this statement is outside the function, these statements are within the function. So over here we can see that value printed is 10. So whatever modification done within the function is reflected outside using this keyword. And here we can see that the address which is printed by this printf statement over here is same as this one, means it is the same variable. But the important thing is whenever we assigning a value to a variable which is a global variable, a new memory location is assigned, but whenever we use that variable outside the function it will be considered as the same variable even though the memory location is different. Hence this x is a global variable and we are able to modify that global variable's value within the function using a global keyword. So this is all about global versus local variable. Now let us look at what is a non-local or enclosing scope. So over here we can see that there is an outer function, inner function, and we have created a variable z is equal to 30 and we are printing that z over here. Whenever we have a nesting of function like this, then we can use this variable which is defined within the outer function. We can use this variable within the inner function. So whenever we use the variable which is created outside the inner function but within the outer function, the scope of this variable is referred to as an enclosed scope, because this variable z is accessible within a function which is enclosed within the outer function, and hence the name is enclosed scope. So here variable z has an enclosed scope. Here is a formal description of the enclosing scope or enclosed scope. Enclosing or a non-local scope is a scope that only exists for nested function. Here is the same example that we have seen in this image. So here x is 10, y is 20, and within the outer function z is equal to 30. Within our inner function we have x, and here we are printing x, z and y, and here we are printing x length of this. And now let us run this program and we can see that value of x which is 30 over here. So 30 is printed because this x has a local scope. So x is a local variable and here we have a printf statement within the innermost function, and hence value of x is 30. Otherwise in the value of global variable x is 10, and z is defined outside this inner function. Z is defined outside the function. Z is equal to 30, but also we are able to print value of z as a 30 because this 30 has an enclosed scope or non-local scope or an enclosing scope. Now let us look at what is meaning of built-in scope. So if a variable is not defined in local, enclosed or global scope like this, right, like this 3-1, then the Python looks for it in a built-in scope. For example, here we have used len function. So len function we have not created anywhere. We have not defined len function because this is a built-in function. So any of the keyword or a function which are built-in have the built-in scope. So the variables, keywords and the built-in functions which are defined within the programming language are built-in, and hence they have a built-in scope. So in this video we have learned what is scope of variable and type of variable scope in Python. We have seen the 4 types of scope in variables, that is local, enclosed, global and built-in, and we have also seen local variable scope versus global variable scope. So in next video you will learn recursion in Python with suitable practical examples. So here we are ending this video. Thank you very much for watching this video. Have a great time.